Hello, how are you guys doing today? This is Brayton, and this is going to be the first of many videos of my log of Dutasteride, and how my experiences are going to be with it. So this is part one, of course, and kind of like the transitioning of finasteride onto Dutasteride here, and kind of like the differences I feel, what I've noticed already, and or the anecdotal. So this is like, this isn't professional actual advice. This isn't anything like that. This is, just my experience and my anecdotal, feelings on it so far. And yeah, we'll just kind of dive into, the first experiences I've had so far. So pretty much we're going to start from the beginning here. We're going to rewind of my experiences with hair loss, my preventative measures, my treatments that I've kind of gotten into, and kind of like I'm going to share my experiences here in my journey. So I noticed hair loss, or I started to notice hair loss probably around the age of 16. I styled my hair a lot differently, so it was different, but I had it like up and I straightened my hair. Yeah, so I tried to look like Johnny Bravo. I don't think I was intentionally, but it just, I don't know why I did it, but yeah. I noticed diffuse thinning kind of in the areas right here. It was just staticky, and I always wondered, like, why was it like that, It was thinner comparatively I was thinking, hey, maybe a moisturizing problem. I was young. I didn't think much about it. So, and I got a comment, too, that I had, like, a bald spot in the back of my head from a distance that was noticeable, so I didn't think much about it, my dad started going bald at a really early age, but my mom's side of the family, a couple of her brothers are bald. It's very odd, but I didn't really think much about it. But I continued, and then I started like lifting and working out probably around the age of 17. I didn't think anything noticeable about it. I started working out for a couple months fine. But when I really kind of noticed was I noticed about a recession and thinning, especially like on the crown of my head and like kind of right there. I was like, okay, and then I started doing research into it, just like looking into videos of hair loss and just other things. At first, I didn't really think much about it, but I was still scared. So that I started to look into. I never got into like the natural treatments or whatever. But the first thing I used when I was 17 was ketoconazole shampoo. So I started that pretty early because I was kind of scared to dive into the 5-alpha reductase, into the anti-androgens and stuff. So I was like skeptical because I'm 17. You don't want to limit your Johnson growth here. So you want to have enough as much exposure of DHT as possible in your puberty years. So I was like, all right, I gotta hold this off. So maybe a little bit of ketoconazole won't hurt, and so. I was, so I used that for a bit, but still noticed a lot of just thinning kind of like through the Norwood here. And, I guess I can show my hairline here, but it is pretty good. I got a big forehead in general. My dad and my sister have big foreheads, but I'm able to kind of maintain that good Norwood there. But, and then the back of my head is definitely, gotten a lot better than it has. I think I might show some pictures as well of, like, how bad it's gotten, or was. And, so, yeah, that's when I first started getting into finasteride. So, finasteride, I was 18, and, like, kind of halfway through 18, maybe a little more than, or before half, I was like, okay, you know what, I have to do something because I was so, like, losing confidence. It was just really shattering me because just noticing thinning, like, every day, and I just didn't know what to do. So I stopped creatine around that time of when I started finasteride because I was like, all right, I just gotta stop, and I started to work out less because I was scared if I, spike my androgens, spike, whatever, I'm gonna have more hair loss. I was so paranoid. It was insane. And almost, I could say, like a mental illness. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So, anyways, I started finasteride. I started normally, I got like through like Keeps or something. I started with a milligram, I think like every 3 days or a week, just because I was like, all right, we'll just ease into it, And so, I started that, and still, I noticed over the next couple months a little of density kind of coming back a little bit, but then, pretty quickly I went to a milligram a day. And that's when I started to feel like I noticed its side effects. My libido, like I had a very high libido beforehand. Like, just of course you're 18, so you're gonna like, you anything that moves, you're kind of getting given a wink to. So, so I mean, I wasn't like that bad, but after the milligram a day was. I feel like I noticed a pretty drastic decrease. I didn't want to go pursue women as much. I just didn't really care. I still had like a sex drive, but I didn't really, care as much. And I kind of started to notice less good erectile quality in general. But I didn't really care that much. Honestly, it felt like I can focus more. So in life and not like get woozy, when like a woman comes in the room, So I don't say I was hypersexual, but finasteride didn't affect me that much. I didn't think about it that much. And when it came to that side effect, but I think the anxiety and like kind of like I'd say the depressive time was starting to get pretty bad. The depressive episodes started to kind of go away after I actually fixed my gut health a lot, because I had a pretty bad leaky gut. And yeah, my diet was terrible. So yeah, that's where a big stem of just depression can come from your gut health. So after I kind of fixed with that, a lot of like the neural problems of anxiety and depression kind of went away. And so the hair loss kind of went off my mind, for a bit, because I was like, all right, I'm good. My hair looks dense again. Going into 18, 19, I had a glow up or whatever, and I was doing good. I had I was pretty confident with myself. My hair seems to be doing fine, but yeah, but when I got through halfway of 18, I was 19 when this started to happen. I started to notice more thinning. So even on finasteride with a 40% or 50, maybe most to 70, decrease in DHT. Yeah, I still noticed a lot of thinning, and especially around the crown there. Like it was pretty bad. I might show some pictures. So this first picture here is, I believe I was 19, and this was right as I started minoxidil and microneedling. So this is kind of like the first, I think, week or so. As you can tell, it's pretty rough. I am like, it's a chasm. It's pretty bad. So yeah, that's the first picture there. Second one is around, I was 18 and a half, or around the beginning I was 18 here. As you can tell, my face is blurred out, but yeah, the diffuse thinning is pretty bad on like the Norwood at the front there. So you can just tell by the diffused curls compared to the other ones. There's a second picture here. This is kind of like when my hair's dry. I think I had like a little bit of a product in it, so but yeah, as you can tell, the back is bad. It is diffused. It is thinning pretty badly, and here's the second one as well. So yeah, this is right before kind of microneedling and minoxidil, and I'm on just a milligram of finasteride, so and just ketoconazole as well. But I don't believe I was using RU during this time, so yeah, I mean, though I use RU rarely when I did start it, so yeah, that's that. And then here are some other pictures from when I was 16 on to 17 here. This is kind of the front Norwood here. As you can tell, it's already diffuse and thinning pretty bad, and that's, this is before I even really started ketoconazole, I believe. So yeah, this is, yeah, or maybe I was mid ketoconazole, but before finasteride. That was kind of the baseline here. Here's kind of the crown. But yeah, this is kind of how it's kind of come. So yeah, it was pretty bad, especially for my age. So yeah, we'll get back to the video now. Yeah, I was like looking like Saul from Better Call Saul, like kind of like after the time skip, like on the back. Like it was really bad. I mean, I remember I was 14 and I was at a hairdresser, and I remember the lady cutting my hair in the back says, "Why is this hair so thin?" Like, she didn't even know I was 14. And like, yeah, that's probably not a good sign already. So, I didn't think about it much when I was 14. But, yeah, this is when I was like, all right, I was scared to start minoxidil because I didn't want to rely off it, put on every, all the morning, night, the oiliness. But, I started minoxidil. I just started with, like, the little oily thing you, like, put on your head. and I had really bad telogen effluvium from it, and which is like this where your hair just kind of goes into a shedding phase where it just sleeps for a while, kind of, usually stress. And that made it even worse, my mental health even worse. So my anxiety and depression was just terrible, especially just the paranoia of my hair loss. So I was like, yeah, it was just not good. And, I was kind of putting it on, the finasteride maybe was exacerbating the effects of, my side effects. So, when I was probably, 19 and a half, I started to do pretty proactive measures. I started to kind of look into more and more research, diving into literature more and more. And that's when I was like, all right, I was doing a lot, I was trying to do like a milligram in the morning, milligram at night even. I started microneedling with the minoxidil, just hoping for the best. And I actually noticed a pretty big, drastic increase in my hair count, especially with the microneedling and minoxidil on the back of my head. A lot of the hair has come back a lot more dense and up just in general. Like I remember I'd come out of the shower and it was just like, my head was like a moon. Like there was the hair there was thin and it's straight back here because it could be water damage because I didn't like use a towel on my head, just let it soak down, so the pressure might have destroyed the curl pattern, or me straightening my hair. I don't know exactly, but back here is more wavy and kind of like it's a little odd. My curl pattern is very odd. The sides of my head are super curly, but the top is like more wavy. But yeah, probably permanent damage just due to my youthful years of doing weird stuff with my hair. But anyways, I noticed a pretty big difference with the microneedling and minoxidil very quickly over time, and I have ketoconazole every day. With like the microneedling, I was just going ham, and I was just like trying to get it as much as possible. So the microneedling, the minoxidil seemed to work a lot. So I started gaining a lot more confidence back, and I just, the hair loss started to lose my, come out of my, the back of my head, when, where the paranoia would kind of go with. So for a bit, and then, so over time, that's kind of where we get at now. I'm not 19. I mean, okay, fine. I am 20. So, even like noticing in like these past, like years of like hair loss, I look back and it's like kind of scary how fast it's progressing. And, now I don't use creatine much now. Okay, well actually we're kind of jumping the gun here, but I started Dutasteride about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago actually. And so immediately, the first thing when I started Dutasteride, because the stress of, I was still losing hair, like the thinning especially on the tops there with the microneedling, minoxidil, ketoconazole, and finasteride, I still noticed that. And I still manage my SHBG. I fast a lot. I don't eat a ton of carbs. Actually, at times, I literally will stay away from sugar completely. Trying to make sure, like, I will even try to put myself in, like, a catabolic state so I feel less androgenic. Like, purposely try to kill my sex drive just so I'm like, all right, if I can keep these androgens down, I don't, have to worry about hair loss as much. So, not eating, like, at all, because I was so paranoid about, my SHBG spiking. But, of course, if you don't eat at all, it could always plummet as well. But making sure I was eating, like, not a bunch of refined sugars and stuff that, would increase my SHBG levels. You got to get your blood work done. This is the moral of the story here. Get your blood work done. Don't be an idiot like me that's just paranoid and literally like a mental illness of me just freaking out about hair loss. Get your blood work done. Even if it costs maybe $1,000, you should make sure you get your blood work done. But anyways, moral of the story, I'm still making dumb decisions, kind of. So I started Dutasteride, and immediately, like, of course, a lot of this is placebo, but so much stuff has been lifted off my chest. My sex drive has, like, come back, and it's, like, skyrocketed. And this is what's the most interesting part here. Like, Dutasteride, 90%, 99% even, decreases it. So I have gotten so much stress of like the hair loss kind of off my shoulders, even though I still have to worry down the line because there's still testosterone in my body that will cause hair loss. But being on Dutasteride, it's just, I've already noticed, like, right here, it is a lot thicker. And it is, like, trying to maintain that Norwood, that good Norwood. And the back of my head has flourished already. Like, of course, it could be placebo, it could be crazy. But just the stress is gone. And I don't have to worry about it, it seems. And I feel so much more confident. Honestly, my sex drive has almost returned, like when I was 18. No, we'll see down the line. This may just be a beginning start of like the placebo effect, for sure. But my mental health is like better, way better. Like, this is the feeling on Dutasteride. I feel so much more confident. I feel like I can work out hard again because I'm not terrified of spiking my androgens. I feel more confident with eating because I don't have to worry about, my sex hormone binding globulin being crashed. I can, I feel so much like more confident in this. And that's my experience so far with Dutasteride. Of course, I feel like this is just the placebo effect. A lot of it is just the mental side and the stress coming off your back and the paranoia and the anxiety. Like, literally my anxiety is gone. Like, the anxiety and kind of like depressive time and like paranoia is just gone because like hair loss is such a big stem for it. And this is where I think is like, sometimes I feel like my decisions, like going on Dutasteride, may be good. Maybe down the line, my sex drive may be crashed. I don't know. But for now, I seem to have no side effects. Honestly, my sex drive has come back a lot. I feel way better. And, that's, of course, the start. So, down the line, probably going to be a lot different. The effects, with inhibiting like 90% of dihydrotestosterone. But I still am, proactive with the microneedling and minoxidil and, applying RU because I still have to worry about testosterone as an androgen and androgen in general. Yeah, that's how I'll still be maintaining that way. But Dutasteride will probably be for life. And who knows, maybe I've noticed, or I learned that, my father and his grandfather, and my dad's brothers, had spiked PSA levels in their blood work, and a couple have had enlarged prostates. So that's where I'm like, what if I'm proactive? Maybe I'm catching something early. Of course not. That's just something I just want to throw out there. But that's just something I learned too as well. So you never know what could happen in the future. But yeah, this has been an interesting kind of blog video of an update of something I would like to talk about, just because it's nice to get out there and, show experiences that I've had, and it's a lot of stress, off my chest. So I appreciate if you have watched all the way through with this. Give it a like if you like, and if you have any input, leave in the comments below, and maybe your experiences with hair loss. Maybe some treatments that you've got into, some anti-androgens and stuff, maybe topical SARMs as well, for hair loss treatment too. What do you use, for your, hair loss and stuff? So in the future, I hope something like, we'll have an anti-androgen, maybe like a CB03, something like that that's more promising, in the future, or we'll have, something that will be the miracle for hair loss, So, but yeah, that's where I stand, and this has been vlog 1 of my Dutasteride experience. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the future. So, see you guys later.